At what point did you realize that you were Luka Doncic's long-lost brother? They compared you to Luka Doncic. Somebody said you looked like Eric from Entourage. And even Bordeaux claimed that you are him and he is you. Yo, I'm Robert Griffin III, and this is RG3 and The Ones, a Waves Sports and Entertainment original presented by PrizePicks. And guys, on this show, we're going to be talking to some of the most incredible people in the world. And if you're not excited about that and you haven't hit that like and subscribe button yet, I don't know what you are waiting for. Listen, this is the big episode number 40, in case you didn't know what that meant. And it is the season finale, the season 1 finale. And I got to say, man, you guys have been rocking with us since day one, and I'm so excited for what's going to be happening in the future, but it would not be possible if it was not for you. So make sure you guys like and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Make sure you follow us on social media at RG3 and The Ones so you can get the daily clips that we'll be posting to keep you aware of what's going on in this world while you're living out there in that one. And also remember, you can listen to us wherever you get your podcasts. Now, let's get to the show. Coming up on this episode, I'm talking to the one who is the quarterback the University of Texas. I mean, this guy's brought Texas back. And yes, we can say that now, I think, since they made the college football playoff for the first time ever. Yes, he's the one that allowed Texas to win their first Big 12 title since 2009. Yes, he is the first athlete to sign an over $1 million deal of NIL, name, image, and likeness. This guy is a lightning rod. He cut off the mullet, turned into dang near Tom Brady, and it's been amazing at quarterback for Texas. The one and only Quinn Ewers. Welcome to the show, brother.
Let's go. Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
No, man. This is an honor for me. I've been a big fan of yours. I've called a couple games for you guys over the past few years, and I just want to get right into it, man. I'm excited for you. You're doing special things on the field and off the field. So one of the bigger things is for you is the fact that you're on the cover of EA Sports College Football 25. Just how awesome is that experience been for you?
Oh, it's been great. I mean, it's honestly like humbling and just like a blessing to be able to have the opportunity to be on the game. I mean, it's been so long since the last one was out. I mean, you were on the cover of one of them, so you know how it feels. But and you were the only guy up there too, so that's got to make it even better. But no, it was cool. It was a cool experience to get to Dallas and hang with those other guys and just experience the whole photo shoot, all the videos we did, and it was just an overall cool experience. And I mean, it's good for the whole university.
Yeah, no, it's awesome for the university, and I'm really happy for you because it is an honor to be able to don the cover. But at what point did you realize that you were Luka Doncic's long lost brother?
I'll take that as a huge compliment. Are you serious? That dude's balling. I mean, we're down 3-1. I mean, I'm from around Dallas, so we're down 3-1, but it was a good game 4. I'm excited to watch tonight. I'm fired up. I think that no one's ever done it, but I'm not going to count the Mavs out.
Okay, Quinn Ewers, the basketball aficionado. I love it.
That's right.
But no, I'm with you, and I heard that "we" by the way, so I know you're fully locked in. You're fully locked in.
You already know.
But people were talking about your avatar in the game, the way that they made you look. Some people were saying, "Hey, man, that doesn't look like Quinn Ewers." They compared you to Luka Doncic. Somebody said you look like Eric from Entourage. I don't know if you know who that is, but we'll throw it up on the screen. I know who it is. And even Bordeaux claimed that you are him and he is you. Well, how do we fix this situation to make sure that your avatar in the game actually looks like you?
Man, I don't mind it. I mean, to make it look more like me, I guess they wanted me to like shave the beard, I guess, and just keep the mustache is what it looked like. So
that's true.
Maybe they're trying to get me to look different, but no, I mean, I'm not too worried about it. It's still a cool experience, and it's cool to be in a video game. I've never been in one, so it's gonna be pretty cool to play with the horns.
Nah, no doubt about it. And did you play the game back in the day growing up?
For sure. Oh yeah.
Okay.
For sure. All the time.
So what's your favorite EA college football game that you played when you were growing up?
I feel like 14, just because it was the last one, and that's the one that I've played the most, just because obviously it's been the very last one. And, I still have a bunch of friends who still play it, and they still have the old Xbox just so they can play it. So I know they're ready to upgrade their systems and whatnot.
Yeah, I think all the college football fans and just football fans in general can't wait. Do you have a favorite mode that you played, like Dynasty mode, Road to Glory, Ultimate Team, any of those?
Yeah, I think Road to Glory, just because the stories and being able to start early, and like in 14, I know we don't have it in the new one, but starting in high school was always fun.
Yeah, yeah, no doubt about it. So speaking of high school, you were a guy that, you've said that you always wanted to play for the Texas Longhorns. So now that you've had that experience and you've been the full-time starter for the past 2 years, just what does it mean to you to be the starting quarterback for the University of Texas?
Yeah, it means everything. I mean, sometimes I just got to take a step back and take it all in, because this is what I've always wanted to do, and this is where I always wanted to be. And to have Sark trust me and to run his offense, and just have my teammates trust me, and it's a pretty cool experience. I mean, just having the teammates that we had and the trust that they have in us to get the ball where it needs to be. I mean, at the end of the day, we're just like the point guard, and we're just dishing the ball out and hoping everybody else makes plays.
And you've done an amazing job of that. And there is a little parallel to our stories, not just being quarterbacks that played in Texas and have done great things for the universities that we played for. But I actually graduated high school early. Not in the same way that you did, but I actually played my senior year, and then I left in the spring and I went to Baylor. But you skipped your entire senior season and went to Ohio State, and then found your way back to Texas through the transfer portal. And you've been on record saying that, it just wasn't the right fit for you. But if you don't mind, could you tell me why it wasn't the right fit for you at Ohio State?
Yeah, totally. I mean, first off, it made great relationships up there. Still have good friends that go there.
Right.
And, for me, first off, it was really cold up there. And, us, we're not quite used to all that.
You ain't lying.
I just have so much more resources down here. I mean, this is where I'm close to Austin, of being up in Dallas, close to being from here. And just a lot more resources, close to home, close to family members. It was just a little bit too far for me.
No, I understand that. And I'll give you a quick story. I had a high school running back named Troy Vital. He was all-state running back, and I decided to go to Baylor for the same reasons that you kind of described, of the resources and being able to be closer to family and have a support system. He ended up going to Idaho as an all-state running back when he could have came to Baylor with me. And the number one reason that we thought that was a mistake is he just had no support system out there.
Yeah.
Sure. And he had a great freshman year, but it ended up not going the way that he wanted it to go. So I definitely commend you for realizing that and seeing it and coming back. But what from that experience that you had well, I guess, how was the experience there with a guy like CJ Stroud, who came off and said that he felt like he was a little disrespected that they brought you in there? How was that experience in itself with him being there?
I thought it was a good experience. I mean, I learned a whole lot through Coach Day.
Yep.
And that whole quarterback room, because we had some good quarterbacks in that room.
Yes, you did.
And just learning from them, being like the new guy coming. I mean, I came in the middle of fall camp up there, so that's like all I knew. That's what college football was for me. It was just fall camp. So going into that was definitely tough. And I learned a lot from CJ and how to prepare for games and whatnot. And it was just it was a good experience, but at the end of the day, just wasn't the right fit for me.
Yeah, and I say this, and we've all heard it, like there's no place like home.
That's right.
Coming back to your home state, and I'm happy for you, brother.
Thank you.
I think you found the right place for you to grow and the right place for you to excel, and you're walking in that. So, as I said before, I did call a few games for you over the past few years, and the one thing that I noticed was from 2022 to 2023, you went from a little out of shape with the mullet. You cut the mullet. You got in shape. I like to describe it, Quinn, as you went from like Joe Dirt to Captain America.
Let's go.
And I'm like, man, this is phenomenal. Like to see that transformation and to see how you play. Just for you, what was it that made you say, all right, I got to get rid of this look. I got to get rid of this persona and get in the best shape of my life?
Yeah, I think first off, just I had never really had a season that had so many ups and downs like it did that first year.
Okay.
And I knew something had to change. I think I kind of brought that mentality of like just being in high school and just kind of being able to go out there and play off instincts and just do,
Gotcha.
yeah, exactly. Just do whatever. but it's a total different game. And it took me a little too long to realize that, but I think I learned quick and took it in stride. And I like I said, I knew something had to change. So
Right.
I started with the hair and just decided to chop it off, and then drop weight and kind of get in better shape, get more so I can take hits better and whatnot.
Right.
So just get more comfortable.
Now, is there ever any possibility that the hair comes back? Because I think that the hair, while you're being in shape, could still be a thing. You know what I mean? Head and Shoulders commercials. I like the mullet. I'm not gonna lie to you, Quinn. I love it.
I don't know. I don't think so. It's just you got to take 30 minutes out of your day to clean it, wash it. It's too much.
That is true.
It's too much.
You don't want to have a dirty mullet, right? Can't have any dirty mullets out there.
Like you said, Joe Dirt. I don't want to have that on me.
Well, Quinn, I'm very secure in my manhood, and I can tell you that you look phenomenal, brother.
Thank you.
You're doing a great job. And the one thing, other than just the look and being in shape, I just felt like you had more fun last year. Why do you think you were able to have more fun? And I know winning is fun, but just the way you were playing the game, it just looked like you were enjoying it. How did you find that joy again?
Yeah, I think that's a great question. I think the more that you prepare, the more you prepare, and peace comes with that. And I think just having peace, you can have fun with it. And like you said, winning is always fun. And I think that throughout the entire offseason, I think that was one of the closest teams that I've ever been a part of. I mean, we could go hang out with the D linemen, and it's just like hanging out with the boys. I mean, it was just like I've never been on a team as close as we were last year, and I think that goes to show. I mean, all of us were having a ton of fun.
Yeah, and you were leading the way with that. And speaking of fun, Big 12 championship game, right? Already talked about how you set the record and you were named MVP in that game. Congratulations once again.
Thank you.
You also beat down my Baylor Bears during the season, but listen, when I'm not calling the games, I can be a fan. But when I'm calling the games, I call it right down the line. And I actually called a game for you guys with Baylor 2 years ago. So I saw something at the trophy presentation that really, I don't want to say touched my heart, but I'd have been a fanboy the entire time. But you got the championship belt from the Undertaker. Are you a WWE fan, or were you a wrestling fan growing up?
I really wasn't, but obviously I know who the Undertaker is.
Even if you don't watch wrestling, you know who the Undertaker is. Well, let me give you a little education quickly. 21-1 at WrestleMania. Okay, you're talking Shawn Michaels, Kane, Triple H, Ric Flair, Edge. All these guys couldn't beat him.
Yeah.
And he just handed you the championship belt like it was nothing. Just how cool was that? Even though you weren't a fan of wrestling, but knowing the Undertaker, how awesome was that to have him there with you?
Yeah, it was a sick experience. I mean, coming off the game that the team that we just had, and to get up on the stage with Sark and the Undertakers, it's gonna be a hard moment to beat for sure. I just tried to soak it all in because sometimes you just go blank in those type of moments. So
it's true.
Try to just soak it in.
RG3 and The Ones are presented by PrizePicks, and testing my skills on PrizePicks this playoff basketball season and this past football season is the most simple way to get in on the action. Just select 2 or more players, pick more or less on their projected stats, and submit your lineup. There's quick withdrawals, easy gameplay, and enormous selection of players and stat types are what makes PrizePicks the #1 fantasy sports app. I made my first $10 deposit and received an instant $10 bonus. If you have the skills, and I know you got the skills, you can play for a shot at turning your $10 into $1,000, people. Come on. It's playoff time, and it's your time to join the PrizePicks community of over 5 million members who have already downloaded the app. And you guys get this. PrizePicks is available in more than 30 states across the country, including California, Texas, and Georgia. Kickoff might be a long way out, but you can already pick more or less on 2024 season stats on PrizePicks. Season totals for passing yards, receiving touchdowns, sacks, you name it, we got it. So let's get into some early football picks this week. This week on PrizePicks, I am selecting Will Levis to have more than 18.5 passing touchdowns. Why? Well, he'll be a full-time starter. And also, he just got Tony Pollard. He has Calvin Ridley, and he has DeAndre Hopkins. And, Brian Callahan brought over Tyler Boyd from Cincinnati Bengals. So I think he should be able to kind of waltz his way to 18.5 passing touchdowns. So that's what my pick is. All right. And secondly, I'm going to pick Bo Nix to have more than 16 and a half passing touchdowns. And this has more to do with what we saw last year. Russell Wilson had 26 touchdowns last year and eight interceptions. And people were acting like they needed to boot him out of town faster than anybody. He was terrible. No, he wasn't terrible. But Bo Nix, he is the future there in Denver. So 16 and a half with Sean Payton calling plays for him, a quarterback that he loves and trusts and will mold in the same way that he molded Drew Brees. Oh, yeah, 16 and a half should be a surefire one. So go ahead, and I'm going to book him and pick him for 16 and a half, more than 16 and a half passing touchdowns on the year. So those are my picks. Daily Fantasy Sports is made easy with PrizePicks. So make sure you download the app today and use code RG3 for a first deposit match of up to $100. Remember, download the app today and use code RG3 for a first deposit match of up to $100. Let's get this money, people. I've said this last year. I called you guys a spring game last year, not this past spring. And people kind of got on me about it because I said I thought you guys had the best quarterback room in the country. Now, that was with you, Malik Murphy, and, of course, Arch Manning. Who do you think has the best quarterback room in the country, and why is it Texas?
I like that. I mean, you can call me biased, but I really think it's us. I mean, the way that we all prepare. I mean, y'all saw how the spring game went. Yeah. I mean, we're all capable of making, great plays. So, I mean, Sark and Coach Milwee have us dialed up. So actions speak for themselves.
There you go. No, and I saw that. And the thing that I love about you, Quinn, is you're the leader of that room. And you're one of the best quarterbacks in the country. So how you approach it with all the outside noise is going to affect the rest of the team. It's going to affect the rest of that room. But you've been through the transfer portal process yourself and use it to your advantage. And Malik is now gone. He's at Duke. What does Arch have to gain from being loyal to the Longhorns and being able to sit for another year and learn from your game?
Yeah, I think that he gains a lot. I mean, just, not being from the state and coming in, and it's obviously a little different. I think he's got more time to grow his pride and love for the university. Obviously, he loves the university and loves the Longhorns, but kind of being able to sit back and watch, I think that is it's different than playing. So him seeing kind of what's going on from inside, but also outside, I think that he can get a lot of intel from that. And then obviously another year to learn the offense and just get more comfortable within the smaller details. I think, it's like the best situation for him, I think.
Yeah, no doubt. And like I said, I'm praising you because the outside noise at times can be unbearable. Even for me, when I was at Baylor, what feels like 75 years ago now, I was a freshman All-American coming off great seasons, helping Baylor reach heights it hadn't reached in a long time. I had one bad game against a dominant TCU team, and they were calling for Nick Florence to be the starting quarterback. And it's no offense to Nick Florence. I don't think you know who Nick Florence is, but as a quarterback, you have to keep the team on schedule. You've done an amazing job of that. And I wanted to ask you, how have you and Arch and the rest of that room managed to stay good teammates to each other, even when sometimes the noise outside the facility or the building starts to creep up?
Yeah, that's a great question. I think we're really intense competitors, and we all want the same outcome.
Right.
But at the end of the day, I think we're better humans, and I think we're better people, and I think that we really enjoy each other's company in that quarterback room. I mean, during the season, we do quarterback dinners every Tuesday, and we go have dinner together after Tuesday meetings. So, I mean, the room is I've never been in a closer room. I mean, all 3 years it's been a super close room. I mean, my first year here, me and Hudson Card were in a quarterback battle, but at the same time, we're all hanging out on the weekends, going to dinners, enjoying each other's company. So, yeah, football means a lot to all of us, but being good humans, I think, means more.
Yeah, and you exemplify that, man. And so I just want to tip my cap to you for how you've handled everything and continue to go out. And you're a Heisman Trophy favorite. You guys are, going to be in the running to be SEC champs. And potentially play and win a national championship. So I think that all is a byproduct of not just you, but your team and of course, Coach Sarkisian And for that, like, what have you learned from Sark? Like, what do you feel like you've learned so much in your time at Texas from Sark?
Well, I mean, from the day I got here, I think the thing I've heard most from him is you can't go broke taking a profit, right?
Yes.
Don't try to force those deep shots because he'll call them, but he'll call more of them if he trusts you to check one down if it's not
That's
there.
true. That's true.
And obviously just him being in the position that we've been in. He played college quarterback and then went to the Canadian League, so he obviously knows what it feels like to be in our shoes. And he said it. I mean, we're getting a PhD in quarterback play here. So he's been there. He's done that. He's had, Heisman Trophy winners. He's had first-round draft picks. So, right. I mean, you'd be silly not to trust the guy.
No doubt about it. And for anyone that doesn't know what that means of you can't go broke taking a profit, it's a coachingism basically telling you, hey, man, don't be afraid to throw the check down. Exactly. All right. Sometimes the check down could be a 25-yard gain, and no one's going to go look at that later and be like, oh, well, he threw it 2 yards past the line of scrimmage. No, we're playing winning football. I'm sure you've heard that a bunch.
Yeah, with the backs that we got, too.
Oh, my gosh.
You never know.
Yeah. So you've kind of touched on it a little bit, but for you, what makes Sark stand out? Like, what's so unique about him as a coach compared to others?
Well, I think obviously he's been through a good amount of stuff. He's had some tough adversity. Right. He's been through ups and downs, and I think it's rare, but I think it's been cool to see him just come out like a lot better on the other end, I guess I should say. Right. Just the way that he's able to connect with us. He said, I mean, he talks with us all the time about kind of what he's been through, and we can kind of lean on him when we're going through things because he allows that, and it's just cool to see a head coach act the way that he does on like a player to coach level. Right.
Do you think him sharing those moments with you guys makes him more human to you and not just a head coach?
100%, because I know most guys would not want to talk about their past, and I think he's comfortable in his own shoes and in his own skin that he can share those things, and I think that just brings the whole team closer. We're like, okay, our coach isn't perfect, so I think that allows us to have no fear of failure on the field and off the field.
No, that's huge because that fear of failure sometimes can be a motivator, but it can also hamper you a little bit.
100%.
I just watched, I think it's Inside Out 2 with the kids. It was Father's Day, Quinn, but every day is Kids Day.
That's right.
So we went to go see Inside Out 2, and it was the new character was anxiety. And sometimes when you have that fear of failure, anxiety can take over. When if you're just playing through joy, a lot of times you can accomplish more things than you think you can. So when I look at Texas football, obviously I played against Texas when I was in college, but I was a huge fan growing up. Vince Young, Ricky Williams. You obviously were probably pretty big fans of Colt McCoy as well. What do you think Sark has done for Texas football, in your opinion?
I mean, I think that he has brought a winning culture back to this university, and I think that's the main thing. I can stop there and talk about that. I mean, the way that we practice and the way that we work out, I mean, I don't think there's another team in the country that takes more pride in how hard we practice. And I believe that.
No, it's people were getting, I'm telling you, Quinn, I'm not like a fortune teller or anything here. I can't tell the future, but I watched that spring game 2 years ago and I said to myself, wow, you guys have the bodies up front. You got the playmakers outside. You got the quarterback. You guys are going to be in the national title hunt. And everybody's like, oh my gosh, Rob, it's just a spring game. Get over it. And I'm like, no, these guys are phenomenal. And then you guys end up in the college football playoff for the first time ever.
Yep.
So I'll ask you this, and then I'll ask you this next question is, what did you learn from that game in the CFP semifinal against Washington?
Yeah, it's a great question. You go through ups and downs throughout all the games, right? You just have to learn how to. Coach Sark has a good analogy. It's why the windshield's so big and the rearview mirror is so small.
So small, yeah.
And I think going through games, it's hard. I mean, I think I didn't start out, how I wanted to. I think we went 3-and-out with a false start. in the first drive, and I mean that's just a terrible start. And you just have to learn how to flush those. And I think that's the biggest thing for me. Continuing on this year is just flushing those bad plays, bad drives, and continuing to work the game plan.
Right. So now that you've had that experience, right? You win the Big 12 title, you go to the CFP, you have that experience. What has Coach Sark set as the standard for this season?
We take it one day at a time, but I mean, we're all human and we understand what we want to accomplish. And we've kind of set our minds on, obviously the SEC championship, but also January 20th, that national championship game. So, that's what we want, and that's what we are going to hold ourselves to. So, I know we're all excited to get to the SEC.
Right. You talk about being excited to get to the SEC. Like, what are you looking most forward to with this new challenge?
Yeah, I mean, I've always, wanted to play in the SEC, and for Texas first season in the SEC, couldn't be more excited, and we're all excited, and I think it means a lot to all the schools in the SEC. I mean, it's like that Southern lifestyle, football and family.
Right.
And we just feel like it means more, and we're excited to be a part of it.
No doubt. So here's a good question for you. You're one of the best quarterbacks in the country at play action. I don't think I've ever seen anything like it, Quinn. How comfortable you are pushing the ball down the seam, pushing the ball down the field on post routes. Obviously, like we talked about, you can't go broke taking a profit, throwing the check down when you need to. Why do you think you have become the best quarterback in the country off of play action?
Well, I think.
And why do you like it? Why do you love play action so much? I guess that's a better question. Why do you love play action so much?
Well, I think we're good at it, and we love running the ball, I think. Right. And that obviously helps out a whole lot. A good run game is a quarterback's best friend.
That's true.
So, having a match up and look the same is always going to help me. And I think that I've gained a lot of confidence in pushing the ball down the field, and having to fit the ball in smaller windows when I have to, and like you said, taking the check down. Because I mean, I remember in the Big 12 championship game, I took a couple check downs, and I think I had 30 or 40 yards just off check downs. So that alone is huge.
Does that help the thought process and for you? Because I know for me, when I was playing early in my career at Baylor, I hated throwing checkdowns. Oh my God. It was the worst thing in the world because you feel like you're trying to win every play, right? And you felt like, man, I'm calling uncle here and throwing the check down. Like, that's not exciting. That's not fun. But then I threw a couple, not our Heisman year, but the year before that. And it was like, hey, this is the read. I'm supposed to throw this check down, or hey, here's a blitz. I'm supposed to throw this route. It's short of the sticks, but coach talked to me about this and what's supposed to happen. I threw a slant to Terrence Williams. He caught it at 3 yards and ran it 70 yards for a touchdown because he broke one tackle. Yeah, I was like, oh, so that's what we're doing. Then I threw a check down to Terrence Ganaway in the flat, one of our running backs, big 242-pound sucker, and he rolled down the sideline for 50 yards for a touchdown. And it made me be like, oh, I just got to get them the ball and get the ball to the right spot. Does that give you that same kind of confidence? Because I know earlier in your career, the knock was, man, he's always making these hard throws.
Yeah.
Now you're you're still making hard throws. Don't get me wrong, but you're making them at the right time. Did seeing those checkdowns get completed actually help you with that thought process?
100%. I mean, even in practice, seeing those guys break those tackles and, like you said, take it to the house. I just wish that I knew that when I had, Bijan in the backfield, right? But no, I mean, all these guys are capable of making those same plays. And, just having those playmakers, just like you said, just get the ball in the playmakers' hands. And you never know what's going to happen. They could break one tackle, and it could be a game changer.
That's true.
I think I gained more confidence. I mean, you turn your head so quickly and seeing that flat defender just roll out of there, it's like throwing darts.
Oh, you definitely throw darts. Let's be clear. I think I saw you threw a ball 85 yards on YouTube the other day. I don't know. Maybe it was when you were in high school or something, but that was an impressive throw, I must say. You talked about Bijan, right? You guys have had to replace some extreme talent over the past couple of years. You're losing your number one wideout, 1,000-yard receiver and Xavier Worthy, A.D. Mitchell, Jordan Whittington, Jatavion Sanders, your tight end, and Jonathan Brooks all go to the draft. You brought in guys like Isaiah Bond, Matthew Golden, Silas Bolden from Oregon State, and also Amari Nyblack from Alabama. How have you been able to grow and bond with those guys so that when you guys step out there in August and September, that you guys are already on that same page on game day? Because practice is one thing, game day is a whole nother monster. How have you guys managed to build that relationship?
For sure. I mean, like you said, it's tough because I was year 2 with all those guys last year, and we were comfortable with each other, and super happy for all those guys. I mean, their dreams are all coming true, first off. And like you said, we brought in a bunch of guys, and I think they're doing a great job of trusting the process and understanding what it takes to get to where we need to get to.
Right.
And we're throwing every week, trying to get that timing down. And they've been dialed in on the playbook, and Coach Jackson's got them right in that receiver room. Oh
yeah, I mean, he's one of the best in the country. So I did see that you brought some of your teammates to your hometown in the South Lake there to kind of do some throwing sessions. How was that?
It was good. Just like I said, trying to get that timing down.
Did you bring who all was able to go out there? I think I saw Gunnar Helm was there. Who else was able to make it out there for that?
Jonte Cook's not too far.
Okay.
Over there, he's from DeSoto. We played him, and I actually played him in high school. I think he was a little young though. I don't think he was quite there yet. And actually played against Murphy too, Byron Murphy.
Really?
Or not? Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, Jonte Cook's phenomenal, but yeah, go ahead.
And then we had another freshman. His name is Parker. He's from out in Lovejoy. It's not far from up there too.
Nah, that shows a lot of leadership on your part, bringing them, so you guys can go out and throw and when it's not required, right? There's required time and there's not required time, and you're putting in the work to make that happen. But I got to ask, are you able to take those guys to any hometown spots where there's some good grub that I should be writing down so I can make sure I hit those when I swing through Dallas?
Yeah, I took them. It's just the Mexican food spot. It's called Choloso. It's kind of like a better Chipotle.
Oh,
I like it a lot, but
okay.
There's a bunch of restaurants over there, so you can't go wrong.
Okay, so the better Chipotle, man.
Yeah.
What was it called again? What was it called?
Choloso.
Yeah.
I guess shout out Choloso.
Shout out to Choloso. Your man is putting you on right now. For you talked about the teammates and bonding. What's your craziest or funniest story that you have of any experience you've had with Sark?
Oh, that's a great question. We're always so dialed in. It's hard to break the business mode, right?
Right.
I mean, there's funny stories, but
that you can share, of course.
Yeah, I know. I'm trying to think of one. We might have to circle back on that one.
Okay, we can circle back. On that one. One question that I really wanted to ask you, Quinn, is you're a man of faith, correct?
Indeed.
Right. So I'm a man of faith. I believe God, has everything happen to us for a reason. I believe, I love to laugh and have a good time, but it's also because I know where my blessings come from. So for you, just how has God played a role in your life and also in football?
It's how has he not? Everything I've done is just the lessons that I've learned and that he's taught me from going to Ohio State, and just everything that happened to me up there. I kind of got away from my relationship from God when I was up there. Wasn't leaning on it as much as I should. And then me coming back down here, and it's my faith kind of exploded, and just it grew a whole bunch, just being closer to home. And like I said, I got a bunch of friends that go here and kind of help steer me in the right path, and just having all that, and it's kind of experiencing life without a good relationship with Jesus, and then just kind of showed me how much that I really do need him.
No, man, that's phenomenal to hear, because I had my own experience in college when I tore my ACL. A lot of people remember my ACL getting torn in the NFL in 2012, playoff game in 2013. But I actually also tore my ACL in 2009 at Baylor. And I went through a similar experience of like really having to look inward to say, all right, what is God trying to show me? What is God trying to tell me here? And had to make a decision for myself in that moment that I'm gonna follow God, not because my parents told me I should follow God, not because the world might say I should or shouldn't follow God, but because I want to follow God and strengthen that relationship with Jesus. So I'm happy for you. Who would you say have been some of the more influential people in your life that helped you get back on track once you came back to Texas?
Well, first off, my mom. I mean, I think she's living proof of what it's supposed to be like. I mean, just everything that she's done and everything that she's shown me about her relationship with God and Jesus. I don't think there's a person closer to Jesus than her. So just seeing what it's done for her life, and it's just, I mean, I'd be a fool not to trust what she's telling me and everything that he's done for her life.
No, that's awesome. And who's you talked about your mom, and it might be the same answer, but in your opinion, for your life, who's your hero? Who have you looked up to the most?
Definitely my dad and my mom both. I mean, just my parents, because they remove themselves from a comfortable life. I was born in San Antonio. I live in a town called Pleasanton, 45 minutes south of San Antonio, until I was in third grade.
Okay.
And my parents quit both their jobs to move up to South Lake area. And they didn't really have a plan set, but they did it for me and my sisters, just trying to give us a better life, and whether that been sports or academic. So just everything that they've done for me, taking time out of their day to take me to practices, spend all their money on me and my sister's sports. Yeah.
No, that's shout out to mom and dad. I try to tell people this all the time, how you support your kids. I'm a dad of 4 daughters now, but how my parents supported me and helped me get to where I wanted to be was everything. Yeah. Going to practices, going to games. Mom would videotape practice in high school every day, send it to dad. Dad would break it down. Son, you got to do this. You got to do that. And I'm like, but Dad, and for me at the moment, it was just like, get better, get better, get better. But when I look back on it now, I'm like, the only reason I was able to get better is because my parents poured that kind of time into me. So exactly. Shout out to mom and dad for doing that for you and taking care of you in that way. And, now, Quinn, I want to open it up for you. Do you have any questions that you want to talk or ask me about?
Yeah, I guess. What's it like just being the best college football player in your year? What was it like?
Yeah, I mean, one, thank you for saying that. Appreciate the compliment. The thing I learned, Quinn, was that in my last year, with my redshirt junior year at Baylor in 2011, football was easy for me. And it was so easy for me that I had to make sure I stayed not just grounded, but found ways to get better. That whole phrase, you can't go broke taking a profit. You never want to go into a game trying to win the Heisman Trophy.
For sure.
You never want to go into a game, and this sounds counterintuitive, but you never want to go into a game trying to win the game. You're just trying to win that play.
Yeah.
Hey, how can I win on this play? How can I win on this play? Is it a check to get the running back to the right gap? Is it a remike to make sure the offensive line's ID'd correctly? Is it a changing of the entire play from run to pass because they're playing a certain coverage? We had a game against Washington in I believe it was the Alamo Bowl, my last college game ever. We got snubbed in the whole BCS process. So I won't go into that with you, but we got snubbed in that. We're in the Alamo Bowl against Washington. They played cover 2, deep cover 2 the entire game.
What year was this?
This was 2011. This is Keith Price. He came out. He was playing like he was the Heisman Trophy winner. I mean, he had like 6 touchdowns in that game.
Was this when Sark was at Washington?
See, now you see where I'm going. This was when Sark was at Washington. Quinn, I got Sark fired. I'm sorry, but I got Sark fired. It's my fault. You can blame it all on me. But so Sark comes out and he plays deep cover 2 the entire game. Now, I know he's the offensive coordinator, head coach, but they knew what they were doing. And you know that when you get that deep cover 2, play action shots are very difficult. Throwing the ball down the field is very difficult. And we tried to do it for 2.5 quarters.
Yep.
And I came to the sideline. I talked to our offensive coordinator, Philip Montgomery, and I said, Coach, we got to run the ball. He looks at me and says, Rob, we're down by 17. How are we going to run the ball? I'm like, we can't throw the ball down the field right now because they got 17 safeties deep right now.
Yep.
And we came out and we ran the football. And Terrence Ganaway ran for, I believe, over 200 yards in that game. He ended up being the Alamo Bowl MVP. And for me, it was my final game. I threw a block for one of our running backs that sprung him for a touchdown that helped us win the game. And it showed me that, and I think you're in this place right now. That's why I'm talking to you about it. It showed me that it wasn't about me. It wasn't about 400 yards passing. It wasn't about 4 touchdowns or 5 touchdowns. It was about winning. And how can I help my teammates win the best? Because that's what's going to help me. That's what's going to help us get to where we want to be. So I think right now football is easy for you. I think you see it clearly. I think you see the reads. I think you see where the ball needs to go. And I just want to implore you and encourage you to continue to do that. Don't get bored doing things the right way.
Yeah.
You're right. If you throw for 250 yards and you guys go undefeated the entire season, that's a win. It does not matter how it comes. It's a matter of how you get it done. So 100%. I just want to implore you on that. And that's where I was at. At one point, Quinn, I had more touchdown passes than incompletions. But the only reason I was able to do that was because of the guys around me and because I just didn't get bored.
Yeah,
I didn't go broke. I made sure I took the profit.
There we go.
And I didn't worry about where the ball was going or which guy was getting it. It's like, this is where the ball's supposed to go. I'm going to hit it just like that. Yeah. So I think you're in that place, and I think you're going to have a phenomenal year, and I'm excited for you, brother.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
No problem at all. And just to finish off, a couple of quick questions for you. Just however long you want to answer on these, just quick. All right. We talked about you throwing that football on YouTube. How far can you actually throw a football?
75.
75?
Yeah.
Ooh, 78. Ooh, that's
in between there. Depends on the wind. It's like a golfer.
I like it. Now, tell the people why that doesn't really matter.
Ball only goes about 42 yards at most in a game, unfortunately, unless they're throwing a Hail Mary like Aaron Rodgers or something.
Right. I try to tell people that all the time. You can throw it 75, but can you throw it 40 with accuracy?
Yeah,
and you can certainly do that. How often do you get to talk to Matthew McConaughey?
Oh, shoot. It'd be cool to talk to him a little bit more, but, he's around. He's around every now and then, so I go up and say what's up. He's a cool dude.
He is a cool dude. All right. Exactly. I had an opportunity to be around Matthew as well. So this is us. Robert Griffin III and Quinn Ewers telling you, Matthew McConaughey, we need you to communicate with us just a little bit more. Maybe throw Quinn in a movie or something. Hey. I think that'd be pretty awesome. That'd
be sick.
I'm
working on the acting skills.
No, I saw one of the commercials that you did. Listen, it just takes time. It just takes time. Be Quinn Ewers all the time. You'll be comfortable. Then nobody else can tell you anything because you know how to be you better than anybody else.
That's right. I like that.
And then my last question for you would be, what's been your favorite dominating win in your career?
Favorite win? I mean, I feel like there could be two. First, I think my first year that game against OU, that 49-0.
Yep, Red River Rally.
That was a lot of fun. I think everybody got to play too, which makes that even better.
I like it.
And then going to Alabama last year and getting that one done. I mean, just the last drive of the game, I think that just says a lot about how we carry ourselves here. Hold the ball for 7 minutes in the game.
Yeah.
It's hard to do.
It's hard to do, especially in Tuscaloosa. I mean, I see you grinning. I see you grinning over there. That was a big win, man. Like for you, confidence-wise, you're a confident guy. You've always been confident. Like this is the one thing I think people forget because you've been playing in college football so long. You were the best quarterback in the country coming out of high school. So confidence-wise, being able to go into Tuscaloosa, Alabama, beat them 34-24, hold that ball, like you said, for 7 minutes to end the game. Just what does that do for the program? Not just you as an individual. What did that do for the Texas program?
I think it did a lot, but I think beating Wyoming did a lot for us too.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, just because Texas has pulled out wins, like big wins. I mean, that was one of the biggest, obviously, but
right.
Big wins like that, and then played a team the next week that they should have, got after. And I think us continuing to not have like a fall game or a trap game, and not falling into that trap. I think that showed that we're mature enough to handle wins like that.
I love it. That's gold, man, because you're 100% right. In my experience now, I love my university. We all love our universities, but it's different when you go to Texas. And we experienced it at Baylor. You have a big win. We beat Texas for the first time in 30 years. And then we came out the next week flat. Yep. And it can happen. But having complacency, right? Because you're like, oh, my goodness, we're here. We made it. And it's like, well, you don't think in your mind you're not doing the things that are going to help you be successful. But somehow you let some things slip. So the fact that you just said beating Alabama was huge, but beating Wyoming was just as big or if not bigger, I understand that. And I hope the people get that too, because it comes with the leadership that I believe that you're showing and just how far ahead Texas is now from where they used to be a few years ago. So you're a huge part of that, man. I'm excited for you, whether it's the Heisman, SEC championship, or a national championship. I just want you to know you can't do any of that if you don't go out there and win every single day and win every single play. So Continue to focus small, let the big things fall into place, brother. And I'll be there to call some of your games this year, hopefully, and have a good time doing it.
Let's go. I appreciate it. Thanks for everything, man.
No problem, brother. All right, guys, that's a wrap for episode 40 of RG3 and The Ones. And although it is the finale, we got some great things coming for you guys in the future, so make sure you stay tuned. I want to give a huge shout out to Quinn Ewers for coming on the show, dropping some gems on us, and hopefully you can take at least one thing from what he said, apply it to your own life, and become the one in that bad boy as well. RG3 and The Ones is a Wave Sports Entertainment original presented by PrizePicks, and people, this would not be possible. Not at all. If it wasn't for our producer, Joanna, our social team led by Andrew, and our editor, Brady, they make this show happen. They are the ones behind the camera that really deserve all the credit. So I appreciate you guys dearly. It's been a joy and a pleasure to work with you. And I want you guys, if you really enjoy this show, go ahead and continue to like and subscribe to the YouTube channel. Make sure you follow us on social media at RG3 and The Ones so you can get those daily clips that we're posting to keep you aware of what's going on in this world while you're living out there in that one. And of course, make sure you listen to us wherever you get your podcasts. You guys know I like to leave you with something before we go. So I want to say here on the season finale of episode 40 of RG3 and The Ones, make sure you guys take care of your mental health. Honestly, it's the best way that you can have the best quality of life. It'll allow you to enjoy your life more. You'll be able to overcome obstacles better, and you'll be able to see life from a different prism. Take care of that mental health because you deserve it, and your life is worth living. We'll see you guys next time. Peace out.